We've been live for about 3 minutes. But you're muted, so... No, everyone is. So, except me. Yes. So everyone's hearing one side to this conversation. Yes. If they're listening, they will hear me, but they won't hear you. Almost as badly as your rash. I mean, at least my foreskin wasn't found on the floor of the sitting room. Sorry. They can't hear you, they can hear me. uh, Funny how he thinks of you as a princess. I know. Some relationships it's just best to walk away from. See, this is the point where I say I've unmuted you now. No, it just reminded you. Just reminded me. It just reminded me of one of my favorite lines um, from Babylon 5. You know, talking about Bester, and it's like, yeah, maybe we'll go back to my office and we'll pay Pinata. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable about our relationship, Mister Garibaldi. You think of me as a pinata, a soft, a colourful toy full of presents and toys for small children. It's clearly not what he meant. So I take you to my office and beat you to death with sticks. But oh well. Let's unmute you and start with the opening credits. That's a whole different story. Yep. That's true. But we do, because we're lucky. We're not sellouts like, Critical Role. Sorry. That was a weird cold. Must be Icewind Dale. Uh, I've changed our layout a little bit, and I've included health bars for each of you on screen so people can see. With nice pictures of your things instead of those green things just showing when you spoke, because to be honest, they can hear you. I don't think they really care when it's like identifying voices from the things. So everyone's character's got a lovely little portrait and their name and yeah. Mm. Oh, did I turn him up on mine? I'll have to, I've right. So at the end of the last session, Red Ear surprised everyone by leg dropping a mammoth. I can't think of another way of describing it. It's not something I could really recreate on Grok or anything. Um, it happened. Yes, yes. I think it'd be later. I think it'd be later in his career that he'll claim that he performed a tombstone pile driver on on the mammoth instead, which would be physically and scientifically impossible given the weight difference between this character and a mammoth. But then again, the mammoth at that point did actually die, unlike Andre the Giant in that situation. So, because apparently he did die and didn't continue wrestling for months afterwards, well, months, possibly even years afterwards. But, that's Hulk Hogan. Yep. Well, we've done pretty well. I don't, well, we have our own Hulk Hogan in El Toro. Mm. So if you haven't listened to Labyrinth Made, be sure to listen to it. It's awesome. He's far taller than that. He's far taller than that in every sense. He's a minotaur and he's hung like a bull. Damn, he's going to be huge. You asked for that. Okay, let's get the ambient music back on. There we go. Dugan's Hold. Right, that hold up. That's the mission we're on at the minute. Let's make it a bit lower. It's a bit too loud. Right, so you've just finished the mammoth. You don't hear anything else around, so you are free to explore into the next rooms. You're in the throne room, as it were, at the moment. I do have one. I do have one question before we go any further, because I forgot to ask. Right, when we were talking about the rings, who put the ring on? Okay, so well, if you can make up your decision now if you want. So if you want to put it on, you can put it on. If you don't want to put it on, you don't put it on. So okay, so uh, ready, put it on. Strokes, put it on. Already put it on. Strokes put it on. So did Zagrot put it on? Okay, just okay. So yeah, that would be yeah. I'm just making a note of that. Okay, so stretch my leg a second. Yeah, you can now investigate. So yeah, you were chatting. Sorry, I interrupted with. Davey, Davey, Davey. Davey's pretty happy. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Fortunately, you kept it from charging. Its main ability was a charge that would have knocked you down, and then anything within a certain number of feet would have taken massive, massive damage if they were prone. So, yeah, you actually took it down in the most efficient way. It wasn't able to get off a charge. Okay, there are two ways out of the room that you came, well, that you can see. There's the one, shall we say, to the north of you, um, and the one behind the throne to the west of you. Um, the westerly path would, well, from a basic thought of where you travelled around the outer part of the lodge, would lead back to where you were earlier on. So, as it was the direction the mammoth came from and the direction you saw the mammoth come from earlier on. So um, the large bed area that Davy saw and you saw, and the hole and the oil. The other path you haven't seen down yet. So Okay, who's going to lead the way? Okay. Well, remember each of the squares is 10 feet, so from looking to the left, you can see that there is what looks like some kind of conference room. A long table with several stone chairs, very large chairs, not as ornate as the ones in the main room, but very large, clearly for something the size of a giant, but not ornate thrones like the one in the main room. Davy rushes along with you. Davy, 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 Davy. He said, Davy. He says basically he can smell meat. Um, Something that's been left half eaten. Davy. He, he takes a look around the corner and he shouts back, Davy, Davy, big fish. It's a whale carcass, but Davy doesn't know what a whale carcass is. So, I mean, technically, yes, I know they're mammals, but he doesn't. He just sees it as being a fish, as it has. It looks fishy to him. Technically, you wouldn't know what a whale was, so yes, you wouldn't be able to say it's a mammal because of the classifications and things wouldn't make sense to you. The problem is the criteria of being a mammal is something that would be outside your speciality, as you're a mechanical engineer rather than a botanist, rather than a paleontologist or yeah, marine biologist. Hmm. Maybe that's a future series. Um, Goblins versus Sequest DSV. I'm just imagining a Roy Schneider of a goblin. Loads of torpedo tubes. So you found um, a sperm whale corpse, which is where they will have got the whale oil from. And also, it looks like they've been eating it. Someone has been eating it. They've. Well, you're in a semi permanently frozen area, so it's not going to degrade. So they can eat at their leisure. Okay. Can I get a perception check? Yeah, sound based. Nope. Okay, Davey can hear it. -8. Yeah. Okay, so Davey hears it. He turns to you. Davey, Davey. And I hear voices. Little voices. Ah, Davey, little dragons. Little dragons. Sound different than yours. Sound different to normal, but definitely little dragons. Ah, little ones. Davey, Davey, Davey. Little ones. Mouse size. Tasty. Davey, Davey. He doesn't understand them, but he could definitely hear them. They sound scared. And also, consider that Davey is as ill experienced as you are. So when he says little dragons, he could mean multitudes of things that could be considered dragons. We're not going to know the difference. Davey. He rushes off towards the conference room. Davey, Davey. And he starts barking. Ruff, 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 ruff. From behind the chairs, um, 3 kobolds jump out. Ah! Keep that thing away from us! Mm, they're tasty, Davey. Mm, mm. I'm Snorp. This is Holgi and Zilbo. What are you doing here? So you hiding from that mammoth as well? Dead one? What? Ready? Who's that? Sounds like a titan. Reddy hasn't actually left the main room. I'll move him along. They come walking out from behind the table. See, we heard this place was unoccupied since the frost giant died. Yeah, yeah, the mammoth. Yeah, it's awakened mammoth. You knew here. The the little ice kobolds look at you. See, we would we normally would have attacked you, but you're not big'uns, so you're more like us. So yeah, as I said, you're not a big'un. Yeah, they sneak people in here. We've been hiding away. Um, we came in here. Oh, we killed them all. Was pretending to be her and the other one. Yeah. If we go back through to the throne, I'll show you what I mean. He's definitely dead. He's in bits. You can see him. They lead you back through to the throne room because there's nothing in the conference room. They were just, as I said, just them hiding away, and they walk you over to the big bit of ice that was over the other side of the room that you didn't really go near, and they point him out in the ice. In the ice, deep down, you can see that there is body parts of a snow giant, a frost giant that's been that's died, and they've chopped it up into pieces and and then they filled this little bit up with whatever water or something they had to freeze it permanently up. There might be people in the cells, but no, there's just us. As I said, we only came. Yeah, yeah, they're probably in the cells then. It's the other door. Yeah, they're looking at the head that's on the floor and the blood that is starting to pool around. Well, which has made a significant pool of blood around the head, the neck, the body, pretty much everywhere. It's going to be all over the floor, and has melted into the ice slightly before freezing. Um, perhaps, perhaps we should wait until morning. Well, if we go to the conference center, because that's where we were, you know, and we'll stay over that side. And if you take the frost giant's bedroom, which is down the corridor there, you can rest there, and we won't go anywhere near you because then there'll be no suspicion. Because we've only just met, and we don't want to don't want to get off on the wrong foot. Okay, go on, boys. Let's go get our stuff. Yeah, they are huge. Means he's got to have a pee. Sorry, I was going for the. I was going for the guy from Alan Partridge. He means his cock. I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't have at some point you get attacked by guys in jumpsuits with lemon piping. Oh my god, Paladin Paul's gonna die! At which point Trina cuts in and goes, at which point a Union flag, at which point a Gobbo flag pops out. That's what happens! Okay, so I assume Zagrot's going to go in there as well with the Zragbot. Yes, I'll move you all over there. So. No, that was the other version. That was the little one from session 1. So the in front of you is the what was the bed of the frost giant. Is there anything here? Anything at all here? Bedroll. Gargarai used to sleep there. The only furniture in this cavernous room is a big fur bedroll. That's it. Yes, you could literally turn it into a big furry tent. Trina decides to go for a little wander and go into the tunnel and collect up that algae stuff that she saw on the wall. Looks like it could be useful. Like a fungus growing on the wall in a frozen tunnel. Well, they're specifically ice kobolds. Mm. So as you're all sitting down in this relatively safe place, um, are you all going to have a bit of a chat and then get some sleep and have a long rest? you'd have seen each other at services more than anything. Your training would have been separate, but you'd have seen each other because you'd both been pushed to go to church, effectively. Oh yeah, yeah. You wouldn't have met, and also your age and stuff, because he's a bit of a comic-y nerd, and you're the sort of busty cleric. Trina walks back in and sort of chuckles slightly. Well, I'm just here to start some special forces training. Got to keep our agents up to snuff. Survival training. We don't really have any survival training experts in Gobbo, so my job is to go out here, learn how to survive in a place as as bad as Icewind Dale, and then I'll go back and train Gobsman agents um, and any potential future adventurers and heroes and other people. Teach them things about thing like this, like this. You see this little fungus here? This was in the cave. I believe that this fungus is probably used by the locals to make cold protection potion. And I mean proper cold protection potion to protect you from the cold, not to protect the cold from you. Well, he is one of our founders. Mm. Well, as I said, Snobgoblin really created Gobsman, so as I said, we need specialists. In fact, Ragrot, if you need funding, I'm sure when we get back, we might be able to get you some funding. Mm. All-terrain transports would be very useful based off of your design, or even just, to survey some of the lower depths of Gobbo. Hazard protection suits of some kind, or depending on what other things we potentially find out here, because there's all sorts of technologies that we don't understand, living ships and organic controls and all sorts of things I've heard of. from travelers and agents. Hmm? Flying hmm? Flying ships with controls like the airship we traveled on, but they fly because they're partially alive. And you use their nerves to control them and steer them, controlled by vast evil empires. We've been hoping to find one of these ships so that we can backwards engineer them. Mm, mm. We'd be able to potentially explore beyond our world. But that's far flung in the future. That's if we can even find this supposed ship. Mm, mm. Well, we learned a lot. Our ambassadors and our adventurers learned a lot traveling to Barovia. We learned how to improve the entranceway to Gobbo and expand the living quarters and create the new gateways and the new entranceways and things, all based off of designs from Barovia. So this wouldn't be anything more than that. We established peaceful relations, everything above board. We're not thieves. Mm. Oh. She starts to yawn. Oh, but I'm exhausted. Oh, I think we all should probably sleep soon. Been awake all day and night. Oh no, you definitely need to sleep. You're worse than anyone. I think you should be allowed off watch for a few days. There's more than enough of us. You concentrate on resting the next few days. Mm, mm, mm. I'm sure they would make a verse in a heroic song. Mm, mm. Yeah, you come on, ready. You get some sleep. And she slowly sort of encourages you into the to, to get out your bedroll. She takes off her. This is probably the first time she's actually taken off her balaclava in front of any of you. She rolls back her hood, takes off her balaclava, and you can see she is actually a goblin. Well, she didn't come with you from Gobbo. She was here. Well, she was here already. Well, like I said, I'm here to train the. Well, no, she did actually come with you from Gobbo. She wouldn't have been socializing a lot in Gobbo because she was a Gobsman agent, so she's a spy. Um, so she wasn't there that often. And as I said, she's specializing in survival training. Mm. But yeah, everyone get some sleep. Yeah, we'll feel better in the morning. She gets out her bedroll and just. Um, okay, so that's everyone taking a long rest with someone on watch every for a couple of hours each. So you'll all get your long rest. Um, so yeah, you can all bump off one exhaustion level. Um, yeah, you might not have put it on. If you haven't, don't worry because I'm keeping track of them. So I'm just gonna knock them off on my paper copy. Yeah, most of you only had one. Roxy had two. Yeah, so you're now on three. Yeah. Okay, you wake up the next morning and you are all, aside from, I think it was most of you haven't eaten, so you are all, well, aside from you, you did eat. You, yeah, so everyone's quite hungry. Yeah, Davey. Davey's happy. He's had his ration. Um, Zragrot, can you give me a wisdom saving throw? You succeed. It's in your notes under other. But yeah. Okay. Okay. The next morning, you wake up. As I said, everyone has something to eat. You can hear a certain amount of chittering and stuff um, as the kobolds are in the central room, just sort of chatting. Like, are those goblins going to come back? Did they? Are they still nearby? No, no. It's just Ragrot. Um, you hear a little voice sort of, "Hey, we hear you moving around over there. Are you gonna come in?" Oh, brilliant! Nice. Hmm? Yeah, I think everyone's eating now. Because those goblins have been sleeping a while. Yeah, they probably require more sleep. Yeah. They're not us. They're not, you know, kobolds. So they're not really used to the cold. That's true. Well, hopefully they find those people they were after in the jail. As if they're still alive. They might not be. They might be eating each other. But then again, they're big uns. We don't care about them. Yeah, Trina gets up and puts her hood puts her balaclava back on. Mm. Oh, mm, that's all right. She rolls up her bedroll and has something to eat from her rations. Uh, I suppose we better go and see who's in that jail cell. I wonder who wrote that. It does sound really stupid. I mean, I wouldn't want to be involved in anything like that. Well, as I said, let's go and put your comics away, kid. Let's go. Let's go see what's going on. She picks up a little bottle of fungus as well, like, mm. And heads back round to the central area and starts looking at the walls. Ah, morning, morning, little goblins. So, what's your plan? You're going to go and see who's in the jail? Hmm. Well, we were going to. Basically, there's nothing really we can take from here. We're not really strong enough to move the oil. Um, and we haven't really got anywhere to sell it anyway. So, sort of a bit of a loose end. Yeah, that's sperm whale oil. Well, you need to. Well, you'd need to get like a dog sled or something from one of the local towns. So you're carrying 100 pounds of saddling. I'm assuming everyone's walked back into the main room. Um, you might want to put that stuff down. the three kobolds come running over to you, and you're all right. You're not seeing things or hearing things or anything like that. He does seem a little sassy. Was he always this sassy? Oh, okay. Okay then. So you're all right. Yeah. You gotta be careful with that stuff. It can have side effects. It's nasty stuff. Shardlin, paranoia, kind of makes you crazy if you're not careful. Prolonged contact. Who gave it to you? Oh no, no, it wasn't them, was it? The Shardlin dragons. Did they give it to you? Hmm. It might have done something to it, so it's not affecting you, or you might just be lucky. Um, yeah, just be careful with carrying so much of it around with you. It's, as I said, it's not nice stuff. Oh, very, very. It can absorb magic. Oh, very much so. It depends on how much magic it's absorbed, but we don't know a huge amount. We just know, well, we're from this area, and it's common stone here. Suddenly, the Shardling Dragonlings suddenly wanted a lot of it. They've been taking it from everywhere. Everywhere. Well, us kobolds tend to live in caves, as you know, and yeah, they've been stealing it from us. They traded for it at first, and we basically gave them everything we had because it's worthless stuff. It's everywhere. But then they wanted us to dig even deeper into our caves where it was unsafe. It would have collapsed our town, collapsed everything. And they wanted us to dig even that out. They wanted all of it, all of it. I don't know what they could be doing. But they didn't just take it to their mountain. They took it to other places. All over now, I think. They used to just be at that castle up in up on the southern coast. They got a big citadel there, and now they're everywhere. Secret bases and things. You look very fatigued. Oh, it's a couple of days' travel back the way you came, basically, and then south. Oh, ah. Has anyone tried casting a spell on you since? Okay. Well, it might not be anything then. It might not be anything. We don't really do anything with the Chardling. It's, as I said, it can be very wholesomely used. It can be used to absorb spells. It can be used to make protection rings. It can be used to make a lot of things. We just don't use it. Um, yeah, but like I said, we don't tend to use it because of the. It's well, we're kobolds. We need to we focus on other things. Normally, we work for dragons like that, but they don't smell like dragons. I don't think they're real. They don't. They're not dragons. Something's wrong about them. But none of us have. None of us have the sort of magic you need to be able to tell. Ooh, well, I don't know about that. As I said, we kobolds, we try and serve dragons or serve ourselves or that. No, don't know about that. I mean, we got caught in the storm and just decided to come here because we thought that there wouldn't be anything here. And then the freaking mammoth came after us, and we ended up hiding under the conference table. We've been there for a while. I think, well, we think that they grabbed two people, possibly the mammoth, possibly the wolves, and stuck them in the jail cells. But, but yeah, we've got no interest in staying here because this is a bloody tomb. There's nothing to take. Not really worth anything. So yeah, we'll probably be leaving you shortly. Now it's daylight. Oh, just do as I said. Unfortunately, no. Um, maybe if you looked into magical things around the area. Maybe if you could detect magic, that would be useful. Um, I know there's magic that's going on with that throne there because this before the frost giant died, this area was supposed to be very heavily defended, according to legend, anyway. But we don't know how. We know there's something to do with that throne, but we don't know what it is. Doesn't seem to be anything. Well, no one's really gone up and looked at the throne in any or investigated it. Well, yeah, you have. Well, We'll leave you to your investigations. We'll be heading off now. I was. Yeah, eventually. But as I said, we don't tend to stay around it very often. But yeah, thank you for. We've had a nice evening there, goblins. We'll see you around maybe. Well, mm, yep. You can see there are tiny runes in the chair and on the armrest and the chair itself. Yes, but you need a very high roll to get it. No. Trina takes a look at it. Hmm. Maybe you should try sitting in it. It's thrown. Okay. You feel some energy building up inside it, but nothing seems to happen. Oh no, you can definitely feel something happening. Hold on. Trina sort of walks around. Maybe it's as simple as we're not big enough. And she sits beside you. The chair starts to activate. You can feel it build. The more you're sitting on, the more that is sitting on it and standing on it, the more energy it seems to channel upwards. And remember, he's scientists. You should know. It's maybe we're too small to complete the circuit. There needs to be more of us to complete the circuit so that it actually activates. So everyone, well, Reggie, are you going to join them up there? Yes. To do what? Yeah, you're not very far away. You're close enough to just. Um, okay. Okay. It's enough for all of you, and you only take up like a quarter of a. Well, no, you take up less than a quarter. Okay. As you all have jumped on the throne, you can all feel a strange cold energy building up through you and channeling through the tower, well, through um, the runes as they all start to glow, and you can hear the wind outside start to build as a blizzard forms around the building. As you then step off, the blizzard starts to dissipate again. So this was the defense system. Interesting. probably got a blast of cold up their asses, but yeah, they're probably used to it. Well, they won't know it was us. So many blizzards happen around here. Mm. Okay, so I'll just grab you and drag you all in one go because it'll be easier than having you all. So you head outside where the blizzard has stopped now, and you head into L3. Well, it's referred to on my map as L3. Inside is a large metal cell, barred, and what looks like it's locked. Inside are two, um, they described as. I can't remember what they're described as. I don't want to say humans, and then they turn out to be elves. That'd be my luck. There we go. Caged townsfolk. Uh, there's Silja, a spindly girl with pointy teeth, with snow clinging to the ends of her long braids, and Finn, a piebald-faced man with tiny malformed ears. Oh yeah, because they're both from Royston Vasey. It's a local shop for local people. Yes, you're in the Royston Vasey of yeah, that was the vibe I was going for at the pub last week. Um, um, his hands are very badly frostbitten, and his teeth chatter a lot. They're both siblings. Well, they both look quite similar, but then again, Dugan's Hole. They might they might be brother and sister, and they might be mother and son, or they might be man and wife, or all of the above. Um, as soon as they see you, they're ah oh more thieves. Oh no, Davey. They both look at each other confused. Can you have fever dreams in the cold? Um, I'm just looking to. I'm just looking. Uh, no, no, there's no key. There's no key in the room. The problem is where the problem is any key would be very easy to lose in this environment. There's scratch marks and things on the bars where they've attempted to bend them, but where it's so cold, manipulating the cold metal is almost impossible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a problem. Um, Technically, it could. Yeah. And also with something that would still require a little bit of teamwork. But I suppose you could heat the hinges and then, or heat the lock, and then pring. Um, um, well, as I said, you have to come up with it yourselves. Discuss it with your party. Well, it's up to you to try. Okay. The two people in the cage take a step back so you can try. You just have to use the thing to cast. You just have to make sure to click the button to cast it. Or is it a cantrip? It's a cantrip. So, um, hmm, I'll roll to see how effective it. It has weakened the lock. Okay. Roll for it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's in. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's enough to break the hinge. 2. But it's yeah, yeah. No, no, it's all right. No. Um, no, I'll just use it to add the modifier. So if you use both, you can roll with advantage. Yeah, I know. So yeah, Ollie just needs to roll with advantage for his check. Yeah, that works. You pop the second hinge off, and it starts to the side of the cage falls open, allowing the two people to step out. So you from Dugan's Hollow? What, Dugan's Hole? Yeah, that's. Oh, you haven't got anything to eat, have you? Um, um doesn't really describe them. They're sort of youngish, sort of 20 to 30. Two of them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We really should be heading back home. Don't want to spend another night here. You'd be surprised. We're from this area. No, no, we just want to go home. They're wearing winter clothes. They always wear that in this weather, in this climate. Okay, okay. Um, so, are you ready to start the trip back to Dugan's Hole? The problem is a mammoth pelt would be huge and heavy. You would struggle to carry it. And also, it's like been left to sit in its own blood for quite a while now. Hmm? Yeah, it would take a while. Okay, so Stroggs heads back round, and it's going to take you a while. Unless someone's got an actual saw of any kind. I don't know if anyone does. No. It has a flail and a sword. No, not really. Um, um, if you want to go through it, if you want to go through it quicker, I'll have you roll for it. If you want to take time and make it careful and clean, it'll take you an hour. Okay. Uh, I'll say that's good enough. Yeah, you've you've smashed off a section approximately of your height in ivory. Hmm. It's it's almost 3 times ready as height. Trina steps up. I'll help. I'll help him carry it. Can't have our musician go collapsing in the snow, otherwise we'll never make it back. It's our only entertainment. Mm, yeah, you could actually get a long rest on Davy, pretty much. If they tie you on, like with a belt or something, so you can't fall off, you could actually take a long rest as you travel back. Yeah. Um, so as long as so as long as Davy doesn't get separated by the part from the party, you would be fine. I just got to roll for. Well, actually, no. Someone else can roll for it. Roll me a D100. Yeah. What'd you get? No, I meant the. I'll let him ready roll it. Oh, okay. Awesome. Uh, hold on. That's bad. We're not playing a D100 based system, so low rolls are bad. If we're playing Warhammer Fantasy, low rolls are great. Nat ones in D100 systems are awesome. They're crit wins, crit successes. It's in D&D, it's the other way round. So yeah, it's another blizzard. Everybody's dead. only went down the road for a pint of milk. It's when you get yeah, it's when you get that result for it's when you get that crit fail when you're making a jam sandwich. I somehow skewered myself in the eyeball while buttering the bread. I've never done that before or since. I think I should roll with advantage for jam sandwich making. Oh, okay. I need. Yeah, you take a significant amount of fire damage because you fell into the oven. So that's sketch of Dick Van Dyke. Okay, it's not a really long one. So okay, so you're going to be traveling for a few hours in a blizzard. But you're not going to be affected by it because you're tied to Davy. So as long as Davy is safe, you are safe. Yeah. Yeah, basically it's to see if you make progress going forward or not. But it's during the day, so you're not going to take any exhaustion levels. So whoever's navigating, yeah, probably, yeah. So survival. Okay, that's fine. You make it first. You make it the first one. Just two more. Okay, so you're delayed for that hour. Last one. Another delay. But you headed off pretty early, so you get back late afternoon, early evening. So if it had been a longer blizzard or something, you might have had a problem, but you were fine. You're fine. Let me just. Okay, I'm on the wrong thing. Just need to grab the two people. Chapter 1. Dugan's Hole. Okay, it's coming to the end of the evening. It's coming into the evening as you arrive back in Dugan's Hole with the two missing people. As you arrive, Edgar, the ranger you met before, seems positively surprised that you made it back alive. Well, it looks like you made it. Um, Silger and Finn will be able to go back home, and you are given your reward. Um, as Hilda was returned safely, you're given. Um, okay, this is where it's whoever's going to grab it grabs it. So you are given a pair of boots of the Winterlands. So someone wants to look those up. Boots of the Winterlands. And okay. As I'm probably the only person here who has played World of Warcraft, if anyone is going to need them, um, you both roll a D100 and highest roll gets them. No, it'd just be a straight roll off of a D100. Then it's all nicely fair. So you are actually needing, you are doing a proper need roll for it. Ollie wins. They're no use to you. You were just greed rolling. I'm just joking. That's if you don't. um, I keep thinking there was something else about this that would get you money. I'm just checking because it seems to have hidden the other loot. Because that was the family giving you something. Um, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the reward monies. Yes. Um, because you get that from Hilda. I think that's. Um, completing the quest. No, it looks like that's the only reward. I must have got. I must have got muddled up. This is like. Um, 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 yeah, this is like Bum Rush, Nevada. So yeah, people have got nothing here. So that is probably why. Um, the locals do kind of laugh at you a little bit because you've had to walk all the way there and back. Um, well, you've done us some good, so we'll let you stay overnight. But after that, we can't really have you in the town anymore. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it's um. I assume everyone's going to have something to eat, and then again a bit of a long rest fest this session. But yeah, you only need like half a ration, so you're surviving on a few nuts and half a tracker bar. So they just look at you like there's nothing we've got that can do it. You'd be best going to Good Mead in the morning. They'll probably have something that you can buy. It's about 4 hours up the main road. Well, you are walking in the snow. Yeah, travel times become significantly less in Icewind Dale once you get one of the faster transport methods. Um, that's why the first few missions are quite time sinks because you're just walking long distance on snow. Um, but yeah, that trip I think becomes like 2 hours or something once you have um, axe beaks or any kind of like dog sled or anything. Um, so yeah, assume everyone's just going to basically get some sleep, wake up the next morning, and head on to Good Mead. Get out of Bum Rush, Nevada, or Bum Rush, Missouri, depending on your preference. Yes, it's not the most. Not sorry. There's, as I said, no one will work with you here. The this town is incredibly unfriendly and wants very little to do with you. They're just not very pleasant people. Yeah, they're just very insular. They are there's a reason why there's like a bunch of inbreds. Um, even even before this town had problems even before the Frost Maiden. Yeah, as a starting area goes, this is probably one of the worst because everyone's an ass, and that's according to the book. That's not me making that up. That is the just every town. Okay, as we're leaving Dugan's Hole for the rest of the game, the chance of you coming back here is like, okay, friendliness 1 out of 5, services 1 out of 5, comfort 1 out of 5, population 50, leader speaker Edgar Demont, a plain-spoken trapper getting on in her years, speaking for the townsfolk. She seldom attends any of the meetings anyway. There's 12 soldiers here. Heraldry is a grey sphere with some fish. 20 Sons of Thrawn. Um, it basically describes the people as being unfriendly, don't want to talk to you, don't want to have anything to do with you. Um, yeah, they're just It's the smallest and most insular of the 10 towns. Its residents aren't fond of visitors, and inbreeding has caused the population to dwindle in recent years. It also has given rise to seeing physical deformities, including not limited to small misshapen ears and slightly pointed teeth. The town is a small cluster of dwellings perched on the edge of Redwaters that is too small to support any industry, not even scrimshaws. Ice has buckled the shorter of the two piers, rendering the dock unsafe. The longer pier has two ice-bound Neil boats tethered to it, though they're immobile because all real winter has frozen the surface of the lake for hundreds of yards around them. Local fishers have hauled their smaller boats onto the shore and resorted to cutting holes in the ice to catch knucklehead trout, which is like the worst fish in Icewind Dale, which they depend on for survival. Visitors to Dugan's Hole are often struck by the eeriness of dark humanoid shapes out on the ice, remaining still and silent and still as the wind howls around them. It's a horrid place. Whereas the next place you're going to, Good Mead. Friendliness 2. Services 1. Comfort 2. Yes, it's literally where it's literally. There's a reason why there's money there. It's because it's the main brewery for the area. Okay, so same problem as always. Because you're going across the ice, so another D100. I'll roll it myself this time. I'm on over 50. No, that's a 3. Every time you go anywhere, it's a freaking. Oh my goodness. Okay, so. Okay, so. Same thing as before. Um, yeah. Yeah. So anyone who had 2 levels exhaustion now is completely fine. 1, 2, 3. So Ross has only got 1 left. So he'll probably have that sorted by the end of the next thing. So you've travelled from there. Yeah, which you have got. It's because it was night. That was the main problem with the. Okay, that's weird. On that map, it doesn't actually show you the names of the towns. That's stupid. Let's put you back on the right path. Dugan's Hole. So you're just basically following the river. So I'm not going to have there be any opportunity for you to get lost because, as I said, you're literally, as long as you keep the red waters on your right hand side, you'll be fine. So you get there 4 hours, 5 hours. So you're there just after lunchtime. I did forget to do one thing though. Excuse me. Let's grab the party. There's Ragbot. And teleport you token wise to Good Mead. You arrive at the southern end of Good Mead. Okay. So you arrive in the much. You arrive in Good Mead. Okay, is there not anyone? There's no tokens on this map. Hmm. Oh, okay. Okay, so I shall have to grab a token. No, not slaves, peasants. Commoner? Hmm. I don't really want to use Barovian commoners. But, well, they'll do for today. There we go. As you arrive, a rather elderly chap in furs is walking past. Ah, hello. What are you folks doing there? Dugan's Hole. Oh, well, welcome to Good Mead. Um, oh yeah, yeah. It's not very friendly town, Dugan's. Yeah, it sounds about right for Dugan's Hole. Well, we're a bit more touristy here. Unfortunately, you've caught us in a bit of an election year. The speaker was murdered recently, so it was a wild animal of sorts. Um, mm, they do around here. There's a lot of well, how to describe it to you, small green folks? Awakened creatures. Do you know what that means? They could speak. Um, you'd probably be best just chatting to people in the mead hall. You'd probably um, just if you head if you follow this street here, and he points back the way he was coming from. The mead hall is down there on the left. If you reach the shrine of the flaming sword, you've gone too far. Hmm? Small question from a small folk. Sorry. Um, to run for the election. No, no. This town was originally founded by migrants who travelled into Icewind Dale from outside. I don't suppose why not. As I said, you'd be best speaking at the mead hall. That's where most people meet at this time of the day to have lunch and um, sort of pass any news around. Hmm. Um, well, you'd need some sort of vehicle, like a axe beak, or depends on what you're after. Um, um, well, of course, it's going to be a sled. It'll be pulled by either axe beaks or dogs. It depends on what's available. Um, um, yes, yes, you could. It's not really designed for it, and it kind of thuds along on the snow. Um, I'm not even sure whether. Let me check the. This is book Runtington's Town. Starting quest. No, that's not the bit I'm after. Swindale. Oh, there we go. Chapter 2, Icewind Dale. Well, as I said, you could easily um, get hold of a sled. I make them, so it's not a problem. Well, like I said, if you've got, well, oh, here you go. Winter survival gear, crampons, snowshoes, axe beaks, dog sleds. An empty dog sled costs 20 gold. Um, axe beaks cost 50 gold. Um, empty sled costs 20 gold with 300 pounds and has room at the back for one driver. A dog sled uses the wolf stat block and can pull 360 pounds. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's kind of crud. No, because you'd have multiple dogs on a dog sled. So yeah, dogs cost 50 gold each and can pull 360 pounds each. So it would be with multiple dogs you could carry more. I was going to say because most huskies and stuff like that I've seen they've normally had like two or three of them or more. So we're saying like just one seems a bit silly. Axe beaks can drag more. They can carry as much as a mule. I don't know why they've put that, seeing that mules don't exist. It's like saying, oh, it can carry as much as Harold Haldrada. But you need another module to find out how much he can carry because we don't have the stat block for Saxon Kings. Yes. Um, so yeah, but they will. You can make potentially deals for those. With a bit of charisma, negotiations. So, as I said, you've arrived in Good Mead. The guy is just the guy who makes sleds. Is basically said like, yeah, you've got on with him pretty well. Um, well, he says to you, if you want a sled, as I said, an empty sled will cost you 20 gold without anything to pull it. So if you got somebody to pull it, um, you've only got 4. Yeah. That's that's why his character's so endowed. He's hiding something in his top. It's called gold. Gold bosom. She's the one with the golden tits that she can't miss. I had to make one joke about it. Has it had the usual reaction though? Hold on, I can check the thing. Has it had the usual effect? No, no, because Phil hasn't appeared and Jack's left the chat. Traitor! Yeah, both of them have. I have one sub, and that's my mum. Hmm. You have to remember it has to be the. You have to remember it has to be the active tab. If you make it a non-active tab, it doesn't count. Yeah, yeah, I could hear that, and whoever was starting to play an alternative video at one stage. I don't mind anyway. I'm not too fussed. Um, but um, why you folks a bit hard up on gold? Well, there's I suppose one of the brewery would probably hire you if you go and speak to them because I think they have got a job, and if you take the job with them, then I could probably take some of the money out of your reward with a bit of a discount because you seem like friendly folks, and you got a rough welcome in Dugan's. Well, like I said, if you head on to the tavern, they'll probably be able to tell you more about it. Um, Once you're ready to leave, come back here, and I'll be able to hook you up with the necessaries. Um, One of you mentioned about using using something unusual to take the as a means of propulsion. Oh, interesting design. Um, well, I suppose if you um trying to think how much material it'd be. Shall we say throw in an extra? Well, I'll what I'll do is if you take this job, as I said, and take this job, um, as a bit of a bonus because you've been as I said, you've been very polite, and Dugan's Hole was a bunch of asses to you. What we'll do is I'll make some kind of attachment that you can, I don't know, some kind of sling or something that you can place on your robot's rear so that it can pull a wagon. Um, I'd need a bit of time to study it if you could leave it here. Um, yeah, yeah. He's basically he would yeah it'd probably go quicker if you were with him because he's going to basically come up with a harness design using bits of harness that he has to create a harness for the Zragbot. Mm, okay, okay. So you're going to be heading up there with the Zragbot. So that's where his workshop is. Um, okay, so I assume the rest of you are going to want to head towards the Mead Hall. As I said, it's the big building opposite the docks. So it's just on the top right corner of the stream. So I'll pull you over to there. Yeah. No, it's definitely not. No. As I said, you went full on Robert Baratheon that day. It was freaking hilarious. It was just, it was just very odd the way you said it more than anything. Just, just you're not usually so forward. Yes, yes, yes. There's another. There's I can't really think of another polite way of saying it. Um, okay, so you head to the bar or you head to the pub. It's it is a much more friendly bar than the previous. Um, there's several people all just chatting. Um, at the bar, there is you can see them pouring out as you walk in. You can see them pouring out um, from casks of honey mead. Some looks more aged than others, but that seems to be the speciality the of this area. So probably it's going to probably be a little expensive because of what you know of Icewind Ale and the fact that they've been in winter now for 2 years. So this is probably a declining industry, but they still seem to be very chipper talking to you. So they haven't got to that bitter stage yet. So from behind the bar, you hear a very cheery voice say, "Oh, hello, new folks." Well, aside from, I assumed everyone else was going to come along and Zragrot was going to be working with the engineer. Davey. A couple of people look at Davey and look a little surprised. Like, what? Oh my goodness, that's a big dog. What is he? Davey immediately sees them and it's like, Davey, Davey. Rushes up to one of them. Davey. Like, oh, you want to rush your bacon? You want to rush your bacon, boy? Can I feed him? Davey. He offers a little rasher of bacon. All right, Davey. Chews on it. Davey. Looking thoroughly impressed, his tail's wagging. He's a happy boy. Davey. The barman laughs a little like. "Hmm." So, what brings you to our fair little town? Ooh, you're lucky. You're lucky to get out of there. Um, you got the cold shoulder. You sure it wasn't the cold brother's shoulder? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Um, did you fight off the Did you fight off the web toad monsters? Oh wait, no, that's the locals. They're our rivals, so we don't care. We hate them. They are just the worst. They are just the absolute worst. cold disdain and mm, yeah, they're a very fun bunch. But yeah, this is good, Mead. We're in the middle of well, we're on the build up to an election at the moment. Um, we're the home of the Shrine of the Flaming Sword. Unfortunately, things are a little bit tighter than they would usually be here because of the clement weather. You hear a little chuckle from a couple of the locals. Clement weather. Um, as the locals all look around and go, well, yeah. The barman looks at you and goes, plus, what's not helped is, well, the local speaker was killed, basically. A local ranger found his corpse a couple of miles outside town. Well, what we think was his corpse. Um, a creature, a Verbeeg killed the speaker, Kendrick Reelsbarrow, and made off with several casks, very old um, wooden casks that we use to. Basically, we've been using them to turn what wine we have into what our best aged wine. Sorry. Okay. We've basically been making port out of uh, a lot of our existing wine to make it last that little bit longer. So, but our best cask was stolen, and we need those. They're what makes the flavor. That's what build will give us at least another year of use out of some of our best product. So we'll at least be able to keep the industry running for another year, and hopefully, hand on heart, touch wood, whatever it is you do for luck. Hopefully, by that point, the rhyme will end because we can't continue like this. No, not for not for much longer. We've got maybe a year, two at the most, and then that's it. We're done. Dugan's Hole will be gone before then. Mm, but yeah, that's the. But there's not a lot we can really offer in terms of reward because, as I said, we're the industry and stuff in here is in the pit, in the toilet. But to be honest, before you left, we would definitely repay any debts we had to you. We're good for it here. We're a friendly bunch. We are the soul of this place. Well, yeah, we need someone to go and find those casks. Well, if you can find the trail towards where she was killed, I mean, you're talking about a Verbeeg carrying casks. It's gonna leave a trail that lasts quite a while. because it's going to have to break through several trees and things and head off in its way. And Marcus, he's the one who makes a lot of the he's the local carpentry expert. He's the one who makes a lot of sleds and things. He would definitely be able to help you with, because you need a sled to bring the casks back. So yeah, um, we'd definitely be able to help with that. Give you some transport, or at least loan you some transport for your time here. Um, Probably not the best. I mean, it'd only be probably dogs. But um, yeah, yeah. Um, do you know how to drive huskies? Well, okay, we can give you the basics over the next, shall we say, the next day or so. Give you all a bit of a crash course on how to drive a husky team, so you know what you're doing. So you all get the so you all know what you're doing. By which point, Marcus will probably have a couple of teams for you ready, and then you can head off and do that if that's all right. All right then. Um, well, um, okay. Well, I believe. Okay, so if I go to the thing, okay. So the Zragbot, he's building a wagon for a sled for the Zragbot. The Zragbot can pull um, anything up to 480 pounds. Equipped with a dog thing, it will be able to carry an additional 180 pounds, including the wagon. Except it's the engine as well, so it wouldn't need a driver. So yeah, so it could literally just carry 180 grams, 180 pounds of cargo on its wagon. Well, it's actually no, that seems a little small. I'm gonna make it 300 for that, because it's not going to be driven by a driver. It's going to be driven by the Dragbot. So he's going to make a slightly bigger design that carries 300 pounds. Um, so that's going to have a sled. Um, and also means you can add. Okay, is everyone going to get trained? Yeah, so you can all add. Um, I'm just checking to see what it would come under, because I know there's a proficiency for it. Um, I thought there was a proficiency for like vehicles. No, it's not tool. Custom tool. I'll add it to you after the session, because I think there's. I know there is a proficiency for like vehicles, or they used to be something like that quite a while ago. Um, so yeah, you'll all be proficient with um, driving a a dog sled or a sled. So yeah, no one will have a minus on that. But it will basically we'll jump ahead a day, so it's been one more day. You'll have had a long rest overnight. Nothing to really rush around about the night before that night. Um, um, and the next day you'll all meet up at the pub, ready to depart because there's nothing really holding you here. Sorry. Yeah, that is the brewery job. No, it's not Fable. You tend to get a lot of in Fable. You tend to get a lot of jobs that are working in a pub. Um, oh, my dog sleds are actually like 6 dogs. Okay. Um, well, that works too. Um, okay, so and they're not that big. Oh, they're not that slithery. Oh wait, they would be quite large compared to you because, um, and they're also not really designed for this map. Um, how many vehicles do you think the two of you, the party, would need? Um, okay, according to the chart, it was okay. According to the chart, dog sleds have a weight, carry a weight of, well, they can pull 360 pounds. The empty sled costs £300. That's kind of, so you'd be 360, 720. Hold on, get my calculator out. Uh, Calculator, not file manager. 360 times 6. £2,160 minus off the £300 for the wagon. So that gives us £1,860 being able to be dragged by each wagon. Well, by each sled. Um, 2 sleds? Because I don't know how much each of you is carrying in your weights. So if we split the group, so 1, 2, 3. Which doesn't include, yeah, it doesn't include your body weight as well, which would be a little bit more. I'm gonna be generous and give you 2 because, as I said, you were really friendly to them. So exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna give you 2 dog sleds. Um, so let's give you a second dog sled. Um, call it dog sled A, controlled by all players. Dog sled B, name tag controlled by all players. Maximum cargo capacity is 2160, so I'll put that on there as well. Does it say on your characters their weight? Weight carried, unencumbered. Actions. Carrying capacity 240. Items carried 34. Okay, I'll try Googling. Weight of a goblin. Between 40 to 80 pounds. So let's go with the average 60 for the normal height goblins. Red ear would be far less, it'd be like 20 pounds. It's a lot smaller, so 2 goblins on each, so okay, who's going with which sled? No, it isn't. Your Shardling's going on your sled, which is going to be behind the Zoragbot. I thought that was why you wanted a sled. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you would. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, I'm going to put Strogs in. I'm going to put Strogs and Day. Okay, I'll put Strogs and Trina in one. Oh, no, Strogs and this map is not designed for it. It puts everyone in weird places. So we'll go Strogs and Davy in one, Roxy and Trina in the other one, and Reddy in with Davy. So, because then it'll balance out the weight approximately. So if we say about 6, it's about minus another 120 for each goblin. Then minus off for the tiny. And about carrying about a bit of gear as well on top of that. So, another 30 for armor, weapons, food, etc. So you've used about 500 without going into the weeds of a little bit here, a little bit there. Both are using approximately £500 of their 2,100 capacity. So, yeah, you're using about a quarter of your weight allowance, split up the way you are. If that's if that seems appropriate. Okay. It also means Reddy can rest and everything as well, and you can all. Trina might have to swap over if Davey, if because Davey can't drive. Uh, but yeah, you might need to swap over occasionally if. Um, but it also means if you want, at some point you can go back and get that oil because between the two, you've got enough cargo capacity. Um, been a bit generous tonight because you're doing well, and but yeah, did you want to start investigating the murder? As long as it's not Enrique's blood. That's how I think he says it. Oh no, he does say Enrico, yeah. It's just with his accent. It's not Enrico's blood. Enrico! Yeah, there we go. And we got our dog sleds. Okay, so well, you couldn't really hang around there too long because otherwise, what clues there were would very quickly disappear. Um, so I had to kind of light a bit of a fire under your ass on that one. Because otherwise you would have no chance of finding it. Um, before you leave, they do tell you that the Verbeeg, um, 5 people did pursue the Verbeeg for a while. So they can give you a bit of a general direction towards um, towards where it went. It killed the creature killed 5 humans with its great club and then headed home. Um, okay, who would like to lead um, the hunt? Be a survival check. No. Well, that's up to everyone to decide. Well, you got to decide between you. Okay. Yeah, roll for it. Yes, you succeed. You identify the tracks leading away from the town. The tracks are from a giant of some kind. Okay. Are you going to pursue the the trail? Along the way, um, you see a. I'm going to have to look this up because I don't know what this looks like. A chewinga. I have no idea what a chewinga is. I need to look it up in Appendix C. It throws. It. That is a terrible joke. Feel free to use the Titus laugh. Good. It's more like the Skull Kid from Legend of Zelda. Um, a small little humanoid with an oval mask that covers its face. Its body looks like it's made of ice, and it literally picked up a snowball and threw it at you. Yeah, that's one of the things I thought was kind of ballsy that it did that. That's weird. It didn't work. Oh, I know why. Let me just.
Little green
Oh
fool.
no, that's not it. No. There we go. I accidentally muted it, so I will do it myself because I don't get it like on a thing with a cooldown. Apparently, they're very shy and they move and they prefer to move unseen. So yes, they throw a small snowball at you and your robot. Um, if you want, yeah, you noticed it. Um, yes, you just said you wanted to, so it's you're not. I don't give opinions. You can. Okay. As you follow the trail accumulates at a rocky hillside with pines growing from its base. Set into the hills are three caves. A frozen creek emerges from the west cave, which has a low hanging mouth. The center cave, an 8-foot high passage hewn from the rock. It's moderately blocked by a tight strand of conifers and two massive fallen logs. The northeast cave has a big yawning mouth, and flickers of light emanate from within. The tracks of your quarry head into the northeast entrance. So let's grab. Going to sneeze again. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're here. Because you'll have arrived close to where your quarry was. So let's move that. Okay, that's given Red Ear a chance to have another long rest. So Red Ear's lost his exhaustion. Sorry? Ah. Okay, so as I said, you've arrived at this creature's lair. Oh, Davy's ended up. Where's Davy ended up? Oh, Davy ended up there. Stop with the. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to put you in the driving seat and it kept moving everything around. I think it's. Yeah. And also, I think the scale of this map is different. Yeah, 1 square is 5 feet on this map. So yeah, you're more proper size again. It's all a bit kind of irritating when it does that. Because I'll have to make everything bigger. I don't know why it does this. It's like just suddenly decides, no, this map's bigger. So yeah, the walls are going to look a bit blurry. That sucks. And try not to park them around a tree. But yeah, everyone's going to be 5 foot again. So everyone's getting a full square. And this Ragbot's getting 4 squares because it's big. Yes. Okay, so let's put you back on your wagons. There we go, all sorted. As you arrived, ahead of you is a little, well, it's mammoth tusks, a cluster of them that mark the entrance way to the cave. Oh, Davy, Davy, Davy. Don't like the smell of it either. Davy, Davy. Okay. Um, I'm just thinking of the time. I think the yes, because I think you'd only really get into the entrance way today. Um, um, and this is the main story part for Goodmead because this is where they have the cast, and you've got your transport now. So this you'll be traveling around a lot more efficiently and things, and also you'll get some money if you like can go and get those flasks or the oil. What? Okay. Um. So, is there anything anyone wants to do last minute before we leave the session for tonight? I've kind of parked the vehicles as best as I can fit them on the map. So, the, yeah. Especially seeing I didn't realize the map was a different scale to the previous scale. It's a bit of a pain. Yeah. And D&D Beyond does not like doing small scale. It's like it tries to constantly fit you into the grid. I might just turn the grid settings off for this map, like I've done with the others, just because it's easier. Because the small goblin tokens can just, yeah. But yeah, aside from that, was there anything else for this session? As I said, I think we're good for next week. Well, assuming we don't get nuked in the meantime, we should be able to get through. We should be able to finish Final Fantasy V tomorrow before World War III happens, because I'm thinking that's happening Friday. You know, because it was yesterday. It was it was yesterday that Putin threatened to nuke us, and he said it was going to be in 3 days. So today's day one. Tomorrow is FF5. So Friday. Well, you might not. You might be in Fallout. Maybe not. But we'll leave it for today. So if we see you tomorrow for FF5, that would be awesome. If not, we'll see you next week, hopefully, if we're not radioactive messes. I'd like to thank our players. See you, smooth skins.